Is it fucking working? Don't do this to me, bro. Unbelievable. It's on now. Oh, okay. I can't with YouTube. YouTube does whatever the fuck it wants. Let's give a minute for everybody to jump in. There we go. Let me just let everybody know on Instagram where we're at. Just a second. Okay, guys. Take a selfie real quick. How are we feeling? How are we feeling? What's the vibe? Megan says she's feeling tired. Jordan says she's sick with a cold. I just started feeling better. Mars retrograde is doing the most, I see. Antia says I'm floating in Pisces energy. I feel that. Luna Lane says the vibe is pineapple juice and titties out. Yes. Pineapple juice and titties out. I love that. That is a whole ass vibe. Girl, did you make that up? Because that needs to be on a t-shirt. I love that. Tasha's here. How many people are here from Costa Rica? If you're here in Costa Rica, put your hands up. Or if you're going to be here, Camden said, I want a pineapple juice and titties out. I'm more squishmallow and tea today. I feel that. I want a squishmallow so bad. LaDonna says, okay, I don't give a fuck anymore and don't give up. I'm almost there. I feel that too. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So we have about 300 people in here and about 55 thumbs up. So if we can go ahead and just make our way to thumbs up this video, it just helps the algorithm. Suzette says, I'm loving the outfit, Jess. So fucking fabulous. I love it. Thank you, my love. The Cosmic Conjure says, I'm over it, but I'm here for it. I'm over it, but I'm here for it. I definitely saw a comment about Pura Vida. Oh, Cat, 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 Cat is here. Tasha's here. Thank God. Yay. I love that. Lainey says, oh my God, Lainey. Lainey says pineapples and titties out in DR. Lainey, I just saw today that you're going to be in Dominican Republic. I'm so excited. I can't wait to meet you. I feel like I keep seeing you in Astro Chat Live. Welcoming everybody in. There's a lot of people who are moving over from the last link into this link, so just give them a little bit of time. Suzette said, how was the trip, you guys? Fucking amazing. Period. Life changing. So good. Shawnee says, hey, Jess. Lady says, thanks. I'm so excited. Not more excited than me. Trust me. Danella says, I'm closing and returning back. Fixed it for me. Oh, closing and returning back. Um, so I guess she didn't have any sound going. That girl Willow says, I love you, Jess. I love you more. Thank you. And I love that butterfly emoji. Luna Lane says, I can't wait to join for 2023. Yes, we have so many trips planned. Let me go ahead and put the volume down a little bit. We have so many trips planned. Technically, I'm not allowed to share the details with you guys, but I'm not really one for following the rules. We have Costa Rica that's coming in. Hold on, let me close this one out. Hold on. We have Costa Rica. That trip is coming up. Sorry, guys. Some people are still lost. Let me just fix this real quick. Here, I'm going to put the music up and then fix this really quickly. Hold on. I'm just gonna put this last thing on, and then we'll go ahead and talk about astrology for this afternoon. Oh yeah, it says I'm live. How funny. I mean, technically. All right, let's get rid of this. Delete forever. Say the 21st. It is lovely. All right, we're back. Okay, yeah, guys. Just like Fabi's saying, hit the thumbs up button. We have 300 people in here right now and 161 likes. Some people are lost right now. It is what it is. We're doing the best that we can with what we got. Okay. Um, so the trip for just so you guys know, there's a trip to Costa Rica. There's a trip to Costa Rica. That's gonna be I'm gonna be announcing the actual details and specifics for that December 8th. So you're gonna get the actual dates and also pricing and stuff like that um, announced for Costa Rica. Also, I'm not allowed to share this with you guys. I hope I don't get in too much trouble. But there will be another trip that's further out and way more adventurous, and that's going to be in or to Morocco. So I'm very, very stoked about that. The Costa Rica trip was fantastic. The recent one to the point where I just knew that we needed to do it again. It was really, really powerful for everybody that was able to show up. It was really, really powerful for me. I set an intention from the jump that that trip was going to allow me to intimately connect with our tribe or allow me to intimately connect with our people. I needed that as I was telling the group. I felt like there was so much of myself that I kind of morphed into over the years as far as like how I was able to show up for the world for Bahati life. And I didn't feel like I could continue to sustain that same level of energy. Not only am I getting older, but my focus is starting to shift and change as far as not work being my entire life, also health needed to be a big part in my relationships. So I told the gang there from Costa Rica that, oh no, it says it's still muffled. I'm sorry, guys. We're gonna do our best here. It's gotta be my MacBook. I just think it's having a hard time. So, um, yeah, if it's muddled, I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna probably just go. Should we just go live on Instagram if that's the case? Let's see. Uh, yeah, you guys. It sounds like the mic. Okay, so turn off your music. The music is off. See if that helps. Does that help any? Luna Lane says, "No, we hate IG." Okay, someone says when you move. Okay, okay, it's better now. Okay, fucking A. Love that. Oh my goodness, look at these comments. Thank you guys so much. Literally, you guys are so patient and so kind to me right now. And that okay. So basically the cord probably wasn't. All right. Wonderful. Okay, so like I was saying, I set the intention for Costa Rica that for the first trip that I was going to be able to intimately connect with the group and really make some connections, like actual friendship connections, and that everybody that showed up there for the most part would have very good intentions for meeting me and understood that that was what I needed and that that was my intention and my goal for the first trip is to deeply connect with them on more of a I want you to see me as a human being. I did not feel like I have ever at any point along my journey here that I've been inauthentic, but I was starting to feel a disconnect. And that started to feel almost something similar to inauthenticity because I wasn't able to connect with you guys as or feel that connection as closely as I would have liked. And I needed to feel that in order for me to want to show up again for the next year. So that really was a game changer for me. It felt so, so good. So, okay, Kia says, "Oh my God, Jess, a COVID member was talking to a friend of mine about house repairs. He was showing pictures and videos of his work. A brief video of me dancing was on there, and they sent me a gift. That's so cute. I love to hear that. Yeah, our spiritual journey says it feels like a FaceTime call. It does feel like a FaceTime call, but imagine if like all you're doing is FaceTime calling. You almost then start to feel like, okay, now I want to see you guys in person. So the first trip in Costa Rica was everything that it needed to be and more. There was amazing cathartic healing that happened. One specific, we did like one of the girls was did amazing does amazing work with guided meditation. She's based out of an Australia out of in Australia, and she shared one of her gifts with us. We did a grounding meditation that just literally the whole circle together just opened up, and I was able to release not only healing for myself but also for the group. I could feel myself absorbing those energies and just like vomit crying them out. For those of you guys that were in Costa Rica, you guys know I literally was like, I didn't like vomit or anything like that, but I was really just heave crying what I always do when I'm releasing energy. And that's what happened. It was absolutely beautiful. And after that, we fucking rode horses. It was so sick. So this Costa Rica trip after that's going to be booked up is going to be something very similar. However, it's going to be less adventure and more deep dive into feminine energy. We're going to be migrating ourselves back deeper into the woods. I'm sorry, not the woods, into the jungle. It's going to be way more secluded. You're going to have more one-on-one and deeper cathartic healing, as well as the focus is going to be on predominantly connecting with divine feminine energy and also spirit. So it's going to be totally life changing in that way. For those of you guys that I'm going to be meeting in Dominican Republic, we are going to have so much fun. I've been talking to spirit about this. I'm like, okay, what is the goal? What is the vibe? What does this group need? This is going to be a smaller group and we're going to be adventuring together. So I'm here for it. Gia Taylor says, favorite astrologist, hands down. Hey, baby girl. Thank you so much for the love and also the super chat. All right, guys. Jupiter is moving direct. End scene. Jupiter is moving direct, you guys. Let me get my notes up. I have my guide to 2022 up here on the side. So let me just kind of push this over. Um, on November 23rd, when is Thanksgiving? On November 23rd, roughly around 6 o'clock in the afternoon. However, it doesn't really matter. In Eastern Standard Time, Jupiter, the planet of wisdom, knowledge, growth, expansion, is going to be moving direct. I lost my astrology chart. Let me pull this up. As you guys know, I love to merge my intuition, my intuitive feelings, my intuitive gifts with my study of the astrology charts and astrology in general. This is what makes my readings so unique. Um, and something that it is that I love to share with you guys. Okay, here it is. So, when I'm looking at these charts, basically, I'm going to not only be talking about these aspects, but I'm going to be talking about intuition, what it is that we can expect. All right. So, Jupiter has been moving through the sign of Pisces. And basically, one thing that I saw from the jump that kind of bothered me when Jupiter entered into the sign of Pisces originally was this idea of like the spirituality community. Some I love the fact that it was going to expand, but I can also see that sometimes not all expansion is good expansion. Sometimes think of like a cancer. Pisces energy typically brings very heightened, highly intuitive individuals into the playing field, but it can also bring out the very deep darks of the depths of the ocean, which can bring in some really foul figures. As Jupiter is moving through the sign of Pisces, we're getting the best and the worst of both of those worlds. When Jupiter is retrograde, it kind of scales it back. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but at least I have noticed that some of the people that were trying to scam and show up, they're kind of like migrating in other different areas. So it's not so concentrated on the spirituality community, thankfully. However, now that Jupiter is going to start moving direct, I can kind of see how that's going to happen again. So that's just something that I want you guys to be aware of. Outside of that, I really want to talk to you guys about concentrating on your spiritual journey, Kundalini awakening, travel when it comes to your mind and your body, your soul, and your spirit. Jupiter transiting through the sign of Pisces is going to give you that and then some. I'm really curious to hear what Jupiter where Jupiter falls within your natural chart, within your natal chart, and I'm also curious to hear what Pisces rules, what house it rules in your astrological chart. The thing that I use, the website that I use is astro.com. If you guys could go ahead and let me know down in the comments. I just want to be able to see this really quickly. I'm really, really curious to see what you guys are mostly going to be dealing with. Amanda Alcantara says the ninth house. Stephanie has Jupiter in Scorpio. Stephanie, I'm curious to see what house this is. I'm going to slow these comments down so I can read them all. Assertive Tarot says Jupiter in Cancer. KB says Jupiter in Scorpio. Yeah. Antoinette says my midhaven is in Pisces. I relate to you on that. So do I. Leah Love says, hello, all coming late. Hope I didn't miss much. Hi, Jess. Love the lippy. Thank you, my love. Let's see here. We have Empress Exalted, 12th house conjunct my North Node. Jizu. That's a tough one. I need to know, Empress Exalted, how have you been faring with this? Very, very curious. What has been your personal experience? OMG. Oh my goodness. Okay. Shantiva says she has Jupiter in her 4th house of home. I love that. I'm curious, Shantiva, to hear how this has been impacting you. If you don't mind, if you can respond to that. If not, you can send me a private message to my email, info@Bahati Life. My assistant's gonna see it, but I'll let her know that I'm gonna be looking for these messages. Okay, Steph. Ooh, Jupiter in the 7th house. Stay less. Love that. Are you in a relationship? I'm curious. Okay, Danny says, how do I find this out? Basically, what you're going to need is your birth time, your birth location, and your birth date. Plug in all of those details into astro.com under extended charts, and then pull up your natal chart, and you're going to be able to see something that looks very similar to this. It's a sign that looks just like that. Falling in a sign that looks like this. Guys, my handwriting is trash. I used to have such beautiful, meticulous handwriting. So ignore this top one and look at this bottom one. Okay, what else do we have here? Brandon says Jupiter in Cancer, 6th house. Brandon, how's that been for you as well? See, you see how it could be good, but it can also be a little tricky. Okay, Tasha says Jupiter in 11th house, Virgo, Pisces, and 5th house. Okay, lovely. That's actually pretty good. Tasha, I feel like just looking at that right now, I feel like that's going to give you a lot of good luck, a lot of good blessings. Okay, wait. Brandon says, okay, this is another Brandon. Oh, we're getting more divine masculine energy in here. Welcome, gentlemen. Okay, Jupiter in Cap in 11th house. Interesting. I see a super chat. Okay, Gia says Jupiter in 10th house, Cancer. Jupiter transit in my 7th house. Jupiter is in my 10th house, Cancer ruled. Okay, Jupiter transit is happening in your 7th house. Interesting. Oh my goodness. Okay, the Cosmic Conjurer says Jupiter in my 6th house. I've been a health freak. Yeah. Yeah. I feel that. Leah Love says we're talking about current transits, right? I was curious to hear where people's natal charts are so that I could see how this is going to be impacting them now. So yes, it's your natal chart as well as current transits. I'm putting it together in my head. Yeah, so a lot of you guys are, I'm probably going to butcher your name, my love, but GUACA. Thank you. Molly says, Jess, you are glowing. Thank you, my love. I really, really appreciate that. These transits, again, they can bring out the very best, but Jupiter is a blessing. It always wants to give, but at the same time, with anything, there's always a good side to it and an awkward side or a weird side. So now that Jupiter is moving out, was retrograde in the sign of Pisces, it's just another thing lately that's been calling us to go within ourselves. What I love about this transit now, starting on the 23rd, is the fact that now the planet that gives you inherent wisdom and knowledge and fun and lighthearted energy and travel and growth is now moving direct, which means that the gate that was keeping this locked up has now been unlocked, and the energy that it rules starts to pour itself back into your life. I love this because, again, if you are focusing on spirituality, or if you have a spiritual business, or if you felt like you were stunted in your spiritual growth or in travel or with friendships and connections, these are things that are now going to start opening themselves up to you once again, and those blessings start to pour themselves forth towards you. Another thing that I want you guys to be so hyper aware of is that we're going to be entering into Sagittarius season, as the sun on the 22nd is going to be entering into the sign of Sagittarius roughly around 3 o'clock in the morning. However, it doesn't matter. You guys are going to be feeling this energy regardless of what time. Okay. That's just how these transits work. What I love about this is that for many of you guys, you're probably not complaining about this, but as with all things, it's kind of a welcome relief when energy starts to change and shift. That's why I don't really understand why people get so locked into any one thing, because change is like a breath of fresh air within your life. That's not something that you want to fight or force out of your life. It's actually something that you would want to welcome in, right? So when the sun was transiting through the sign of Scorpio, our energies can be so fucking intense. The one thing that I want to talk to you guys about is lately, she's so sweet. I have to put my phone on do not disturb because my phone's blowing up right now. But the one thing that I want you guys to think about and to reflect on is how the last few weeks have been so emotionally intense. Even with these planets currently being retrograde, let me pull up my chart again once more. Yeah, even with Mars currently retrograde, Uranus retrograde, Chiron retrograde, Jupiter was retrograde, um, Neptune retrograde, the sun transiting through the sign of Scorpio. These transits have been very emotionally intense. The thing about the way that these transits are moving is that they're intense for a reason, but they're very unforgiving and unrelentless when it comes to emotions. If there's anything that you have been putting off that you refuse to look at, you probably might be making yourself think the best of a situation. Like let's say something isn't working out in your life. Let's say it's a relationship. Let's say that relationship has been toxic, or there's aspects within yourself that are blocking you from having healthy connections or healthy relationships or healthy communication. The way that the planets are, they're going to force you to almost face those aspects within yourself that you're going to want to confront, and you can't push it back any longer. Do you remember how I said in the very beginning of Astro Chat Live that Pisces energy and Jupiter energy, when they're working together through the sign of Pisces, it can bring in very heightened intuition and heightened feelings and spirituality? That's all well and good, but at the same time, it can bring in the very murky murks, the depths of the ocean. So for some time, sometimes we can find ourselves almost distracted by our spiritual pursuits, that we're forgetting that there's certain things that it is that we need to deal with. As the sun is transiting through the sign of Scorpio, which it's going to be entering into the sign of Sagittarius on the 22nd. As the sun is exiting out of the sign of Scorpio, it is not acting as a power wash, but it's like the bowels of the astrological chart. So there are certain things that need to be released. There's certain things that need to be let go of because they simply do not hold value, or holding on to them stops you from having freedom and having pleasure and having joy in some way, shape, or form. This does not always have to be something that is negative or toxic or emotionally burdening you in any way, shape, or form. It's just the truth of the matter that certain things in your life have to be released in order for there to be some level of freedom and expansion and growth. You can't hold on to it and harbor it forever. Having said that, I want you guys to think about the metaphor of the body parts that each of the astrological signs rule. So Scorpio naturally connects to our genitalia and also our bowels, right? So if you think about our bowels, it's how we release food or drink, the things that it is that we've taken into our body, the nutrients that have already been absorbed, and now it's getting expelled and pushed out. Okay. This is when you take a shit or when you take a fucking piss, right? So think about this as the astrological piss and shit of your life. you're releasing that for a reason. You don't want to hold on to that. It maybe served a purpose at one point, but the reality is that we don't hold on to or sit with the shit or the piss that we just expelled. So having the same thing is true with our orgasm. um, Scorpio also rules our genitalia and also pleasure and deeper intimacy. If you're holding on and unable to allow yourself to completely let go and release, you're never going to be able to experience an orgasm. You don't hold on to and keep tension within the body. You desire to let go and to completely release, which is very, very vulnerable. Okay. So these are things that I want you guys to look at within your life. Where does this show up in your life? What things have you been holding on to? What lessons or trends that have been showing up that keep making themselves known to you, that you say to yourself, you know what? I'm holding on to this for what reason? Does it make me feel powerful? Does it make me feel in control? Am I afraid to give my control or my power over to someone else? Do I feel like I'll be manipulated? Do I feel like I'm damaged goods? These are questions that you can ask yourself in order to understand, why am I having a difficult time letting go, releasing, and moving on and having freedom? What's beautiful is that the sign that follows up after Scorpio energy is actually Sagittarius. Sagittarius naturally rules that freedom. If you think about it, Sagittarius is like the man horse. It's just running. It has wisdom, it's connecting to the cosmos, and it's galloping out with freedom and promise and unrestrained, no restrictions. Sagittarius also rules our legs and our thighs. So think about all the power going into your legs and your thighs, just allowing you to just bounce up out of that situation or run out of that situation, whatever it works for you. As Angels is saying, angels are among us. 44 says expressing freely. Exactly. After you have understood all of the things that have been manipulating you, controlling you, suppressing you, holding you back, now that the sun is entering the sign of Sagittarius, there's another level of freedom, expression, and expansion that you wouldn't have necessarily or normally would have experienced as the sun is transiting through the sign of Scorpio. So we have about 300 or 600 people in this group chat right now, live chat, and we have about 300 thumbs ups. If you guys could go ahead and take that finger of yours freely and tap on that screen. There we go. And get some likes on that, please. And thank you. Lala Kess says, like a kitty cat giddy runs from poo box. That's true. Cats do be doing that. And they take a poop and then they fucking bolt out of there. I used to have a cat. Okay. Really quickly, I know that you guys have a lot of personal questions when it comes to your personal astrology chart, your natal chart. Believe me, I would love to answer all of them for you, but at this moment in time, I can't, because we only have an hour to work with, and I want to do my best in order to serve the collective. So thank you guys so much for the personal questions, but or as far as like your personal chart, but for right now, we have to keep the question's pretty open. The Body Electric Supplement says, am I with child? I am not. I am gaining weight. I am up 20 pounds. I am not pregnant. I would actually appreciate if people would stop asking me if I'm pregnant. Believe me, if I was pregnant, I would let you guys know after I felt safe and secure to share that. I am gaining weight. And you guys know I don't like personal questions in general unless I'm sharing that. And I also don't feel like it's appropriate to ask questions about children or food, because what if, think about it, right? Like, what if I wanted to have children and I wasn't able to have children, and then I had to confront the fact that I wasn't able to have children, or that I'm not with child here on this platform, when all I want to do is come on here and talk about astrology. I understand the natural interest, but I'm not open to talking about personal questions. And the only reason why I'm answering this, because normally I ignore it, is that I've noticed that a lot of you guys have noticed that I have been gaining weight. This is the healthiest weight and the heaviest weight that I've had so far. But it's not because I'm carrying a child. Okay. And I never get a feeling that it's coming from a bad place, so I don't feel offended, but I do want to be clear that I don't encourage questions like that. about me, my personal life, my friends, anything like that, unless I'm offering. And also, I love you so much. Thank you. If you would like to send me prayers and love and well wishes, then I would take that. Moving forward, you guys, I want to keep going on. Mars is still retrograde at this moment in time. So I am still wanting to encourage you guys to not be. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat, Cherry. I really, really appreciate that. 199 in those vibes, but that blue color is everything, honey. It's giving me life. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but I love the color blue right now and purple. It's life. It gives me. Sarah Jane sent 999. Thank you, my love, for the super chat. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, the body electric says, got it. Did not mean to offend. I'm not offended. I'm not offended by any means. I know that it's not coming from a bad place at all. I've been getting those questions a lot lately, and I just don't want to answer things like that. When I'm ready, I will definitely share with you guys personal updates. But for the most part, astrology is why we're all here today, as well as my intuition. So back to what it was I was saying, you guys. Mars retrograde is currently bringing all of that energy back within. This is where we are not aggressively going out and challenging the world or challenging our businesses or being forefront in any way that puts you, like, you don't want to be fighting for certain things right now. You don't want to be fighting for business. You don't want to be fighting for a relationship. You don't want to be fighting, period. This is the energy where you do not, it's not that you can't win. It's not that the fight isn't worth it. It's just there's a time and a place for certain things. And you want to make sure that things align so that when you do fight and that when you do push, that everything is aligned so that it's going to be beneficial and everything will start to flow. When Mars is retrograde, and let me pull up the chart once more. When Mars is retrograde, especially in the sign of Gemini, we can, if you do try to push yourself or push something to progress or to move forward, it's chances are there's a high chance it's going to fizzle out or burn out. Too many ideas, too many ventures, too many things at once. It just doesn't have enough gung-ho energy in order to get things over that hump and that hurdle. Do you guys remember a few weeks ago? I think it was about 4 or 5 weeks ago. I was telling you, listen, if you're going to start a business and if you're going to start any type of venture or project, do it now, do it now, do it now. This is why, because now astrologically, it is not a good time to start anything new. Even if you were trying to relaunch, I still do not feel like this is a good time to relaunch old projects. I do feel like this is an amazing time for you to reconsider old projects and old things, promises that you've made to yourself, to your business partners, to your actual partner, things that it is that you would like to see lift off the ground, but wait. Even though Jupiter is moving direct, there's going to be so many fucking resources, you guys, on the internet that are telling you to start those businesses now that Jupiter is opening. Jupiter is a planet of abundance and growth and expansion, and your money is going to exceed. The truth is that if you look at the astrological charts, yes, Jupiter is the planet of growth and expansion, but when you look at the entirety of the chart, if you were to launch a business now, I promise you, Jupiter's will probably show up in bills. So there will be a lot of money, but it could be a lot of money owed. Wait until these planets transition themselves and push themselves out before you automatically agree to another project or another connection or another alliance, because the bills or the amount of finances or the amount of energy is not going to be able to match or balance out the amount of effort and drive. And I want you guys to be honest, right? So you could have all the ambition and drive and focus in the world, but there is such a thing as burnout, and there is such a thing as overexerting yourself. Make the path and the process easier, not harder for yourself. What's the thing to do? It's to wait. As Jupiter is moving direct, you guys, it's going to then enter into the sign of Aries, and we're going to wait for Mars to go direct. that is when you're going to strike when the iron's hot, when it comes to starting a business, starting a venture, and taking something from nothing to the next level. Or if you already had something, a business or anything like that, you get to reevaluate and then come back in and you know, what the fuck is this? Hold on. Sorry. Comments are distracting. Sun Goddess says, should I start school? I absolutely believe that you should start. Jupiter transiting, exiting out of Pisces and then entering the sign of Aries, and now direct. I believe that anybody should start school there. The finances in that is not going to change. If you, Jesus, hold on. Hide user. Got it. Thank you guys. I'm in my zone, so I don't ever really stop. How the fuck are they still doing that? I'm sorry, pardon my French. Unbelievable. Sorry. Wow. Incredible. All right, guys. Yeah, Trisha says I tried putting user. Yeah, for whatever reason, they're not doing it. Hold on. Just a second. Guys, I have this gift lately where if I go like this with my neck, it cracks, like it literally cracks. And I just thought that's so cool. Anyways, guys, so thank you to the moderators for working. Yeah, Bree says, will this live be saved? It absolutely will be saved. So thank you to my moderators though, guys. And if they're going to do it with the comments, let them do it with the comments. I'm just going to continue on with my message because I don't want to be distracted. And there's too much of a good, literally, I really feel like if you use these transits really well, just look at me, you guys, like just focus on me, ignore the comments for now. Moderators, feel free to do what you got to do in order to work on this, but I do not want you guys to lose money. And I feel that if you get distracted, which it's so funny that this is happening right now as we're talking about finances and blessings and timing, this information is too valuable to be distracted, to have there to be distraction. So they can do whatever they want in the comments. I'm going to keep carrying forward and do your best to focus on me. If you want to turn the comments off or close them out, that's totally fine. I just don't want you guys to lose this information. So they can go fuck themselves at this point. But back to Astro Chat Live, you guys just focus on me, look into my eyes, focus on me. Let the moderators do what they got to do. They got to deal with it. Also, thank you guys so much for the super chat. But I'm telling you, hold on, let me just pull this up really quickly. I'm going to use my guide in order to see when. Hold on. I want to find this out for you. Pretty sure, yeah. January 12th of 2023, roughly around 4:00 is when Mars is going to move direct. So focus on me, you guys. Don't look at the comments. Let the moderators do what they got to do. But during this time, you guys, I really feel that if you're trying to start a business, if you're trying to start a new venture or anything else for that matter, I would wait until the start of the new year. And I would be focusing on, if you can, I don't want to say replaying, but reconsidering and coming up with a new plan that helps it so that you can get your game plan going for when you launch your business. This is when you're going to be doing a lot of research, right? So what I want you guys to remember is that Mars is retrograde. Mars rules our drive, our ambition, our fire. It's retrograde in the sign of Gemini. Gemini naturally rules information sharing. Shout out to my moderators right now. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. which means that we can keep going with sharing information. I absolutely love the fact that I'm able to focus. Okay. So Mars retrograde through the sign of Gemini, this has to do with information sharing. So what do you want to do during this time as this planet is currently retrograde? It's November, it's the end of November. You have a whole month in order to prepare, to plan, to prep for your game plan, your action plan for your business. I want you guys to ask yourself, or your relationships or your health or whatever the case is. I want you guys to use this time in order to connect with like-minded souls and spirits, see what's working for them, and find a plan that makes it work for you. Let's say you are working for the man right now and you want to launch your own business, your own brand. How can you start to tweak your schedule and tweak your calendar so that you can do, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes worth of whatever that you need to do in order to promote yourself or whatever the case is. Okay. So this is the best way to use this Mars retrograde energy, is not in announcing to the world, yo, I got this new thing going on here, but to say that, okay, this is what I'm going to need in order to be successful. In January of 2023 is when I'm going to launch this new business, is when I'm going to launch this new venture, or is when I'm going to start not taking this more seriously, but really starting to piece it together in a way that's like, okay, this is here. This is what I'm about. You guys have about 28 days in order to make this happen. And that gives you enough time to prep, to plan, and to get things right. And I love that. The other thing that I want to talk to you guys about is the fact that Uranus retrograde is still retrograde in the sign of Taurus. This is where money starts to swing up and it starts to swing down. So I really think that it's in your best interest, in order to solidify and get your finances right. This is where you can go to an accountant. This is when you can go to an advisor. This is when you can start doing your own research. You guys remember Gemini rules information sharing. So instead of you putting in that money into a new investment, or putting that money into stocks, because stocks are swinging up and down, that's also something that I warned you guys about. Instead of you putting it in that, I would wait and I would start doing more research and start going back and looking and reconsidering where your money has already gone thus far. Okay. Thank you guys so much for the Thank you to my moderators. You guys are doing an amazing job while I'm able to focus. I don't even really totally care about the comments at this point. I just love that you guys, I feel like if you're taking notes right now, you're winning. Okay. Absolutely. You're winning. The other thing that I want to talk to you guys about is money. I want to talk to you about, Suzette says, you're doing great, sweetie. Thank you, my love. I appreciate that. Yeah, so the other thing that I want to talk to you guys is about relationships. There is a really strong emphasis on connection. Big time on connection. Big time on your ability. This isn't just romantic relationships. This is friendships of all kind. As Mercury is conjunct Venus, this is going to happen on actually today. It's going to be exact, but we're going to be feeling this energy all throughout the entirety of this week. This is these, and looking at the chart with Mercury trine Chiron retrograde and Venus trine Chiron retrograde, this is going to be happening on the 25th. There's a focus on your ability to have harmonious relationships. Spirit is telling you, and what's happening within the astrological charts lately with Chiron retrograde. Chiron is currently retrograde in the sign of Aries, right? Not only is Chiron retrograde in the sign of Aries, which is pretty intense all by itself, but Chiron is also squaring off with Pluto. There are certain things, you guys, that it's really important for you to be selfish and self-focused and self-centered. But for many of you guys, when it comes to relationships, Spirit is almost, or the way that the planets are situated, they're almost trying to teach you how to not put yourself first and your own needs first. This has to do with your ability to understand that not everybody comes from the same background as you. Not everybody is comfortable with the same levels of intimacy as you. Not everybody has the same trauma as you. So when Chiron is direct in the sign of Aries, your focus, your hyper focus is on the self. Me. I put myself first. When Chiron is retrograde and squaring off with Pluto, Pluto is sitting in the sign of Saturn. This makes us start to question, and this is the planet's way or the universe's way of being like, how are you in the grand scheme of things in this relationship, and how is your partner? How are you able to show up for other people outside of yourself? Sometimes when, and for some of you guys, you really come in and you have to, and you want to help, you want to be of service, you want to be a good partner, you want to be a good best friend on your terms. When Chiron is retrograde, this is where we feel powerful and we feel like an advocate and we feel like we can show up and we feel like we can fight for the relationship. We feel like this is what we want. But are we really hearing what our person, our partner, our friendships, our family, our mother, our daughter, our father, our brother, do we really hear what it is that they're saying? Can we, during Chiron retrograde right now, especially, and this is the other thing too that I want you guys to remember and what I want you guys to realize, right? Is that Mercury conjunct Venus right now. Hey guys, do me a favor. So even though this person, Mr. Burgles, whatever, let them continue to make the comments, because basically what it's doing is it's going to push my video up to the top. If you guys are commenting with hearts and stuff like that, I do appreciate it. I do appreciate the love. I just want to make sure that you're getting this information. You can always catch it on the replay, but they're making so many comments right now that this is going to benefit my YouTube channel big time. I just want to make sure that you're not losing, you're not getting. So if you're sending love, by all means, give the thumbs up button, send love that way. Let this person do their comments because it increases my engagement. I'm not worried about it. It's actually a benefit right now. So thank you guys so much. Don't worry about it. Just keep your eyes on me and keep your eyes focused on the message, okay? Yeah. Chloe Bunny says, focus on the sound and look away from the chat. Exactly. If I see, I do want to say, like, I'm not threatening you guys at all by any means. And now all of a sudden they stop. Are you fucking kidding me? But if I see anybody from the Bahati Vibe tribe that's giving too much energy to that, I'm going to punish you. I'm going to yell at you. Let them come in with their comments because it really helps. But I want to make sure that you guys are getting the benefit from this. Okay. So don't try to fight them. Let them go. Let them do what they're going to do. It's actually working for our benefit. I promise you. But if you can move over to the thumbs up button and go ahead and like that would be great. Thanks. All right. So I just want to say, guys, that this week with Mercury conjunct Venus, you're going to hear a lot of information about relationships being easy and effortless, and the ability to come together, the ability to move forward, and energy being like just. Mercury is a planet of communication and Venus is a planet of love. The two of them go really, really well hand in hand, side by side, and together. They want to naturally merge together, and they're going to keep moving together side by side as the week carries out. It is true that those two planets together, that they create an easy and effortless sense of connection in all types of relationships. The thing is that when I'm looking at the entirety of the chart, I get a little concerned because this is where there's the desire to want to connect, but you can have the desire but not have the tools. Having said this, you guys, this is valuable information. This is why I really want you guys to focus on me, look at me, and hear me when I tell you this. Your desire is going to be there, but I want you to be prepped and I want you to have the tools in order to make you successful. Having said that, Chiron is currently retrograde in the sign of Aries. Chiron, again, wants you to be independent, but not to the detriment of other relationships. Some of you guys are like, well, Aries is all about the self, Jess, so why are you focusing on the other? Because Aries opposite is Libra, And Libra naturally rules our ability to harmonize and connect. Libra is naturally ruled by Venus, and she's connected with the planet of communication. And the planet of communication is being triggered by Mars retrograde. So this is your desire to want to connect with each other, but you're going to want to have the ability to actually see and ask the questions. Listen, I want to love you. I want to merge with you. I want to make you happy. I want to ask you, how do I do that? When you hear someone or something say that something that you're doing is making them uncomfortable, the truth is that if you push past that and you don't listen and respect it because you want to connect, you're going to end up driving that person that you want to connect with the most away from you. How do you do this? This means that communication, you have to get and see things from their side. You may not necessarily understand it. It may not be the way that you would do it. You may show up in this way, and this is how you show love and how you express affection and how you show support. But the truth is that if someone doesn't have the same love language as you, then the way that you're expressing that is going to be missed entirely by that person. Again, the desire and the effortlessness of merging is there when Mercury and Venus, brother and sister planets, love and relationships and connection and communication want to come forward. But Sun entering into the sign of Sagittarius, Mars currently retrograde, Mercury trine Chiron, Chiron retrograde, Venus trine Chiron, Chiron retrograde. There's the desire to connect, but the inability to do that in a way that both parties are able to make sense of it all and come together. It's not about what you want. You guys may actually want the same things, but because you can't express it in the same way, there's going to be miscommunication. Where'd that fucking guy go? Is he still going? I actually want him to continue with the comments because it was really helping the YouTube channel. Damn it. Tiara says, my mom and I right now. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, the Cosmic Conjurer says, I hit his ass. Well, thank you, my love. Louise says, in tears, I had this exact experience in healthy conversation with my partner this past weekend. Exactly. Miss Chelsea said he stopped because I don't even want to assume that it's a he, because I've noticed Tarot's been telling me that some of the people who don't like me the most are actually females and not masculine energy. So, yeah. Okay. Anyways, it just goes to show again, you guys, Mercury again. Oh, thank you, my love. Thalia with the hearts. Thank you. Yeah. Chloe Bunny says you got to watch the feminine energy for real, especially when it's toxic femininity. Ugh. Don't even get me started. Having said that, new moon in Sagittarius is going to bring in new ventures and new ways of doing things and new ways of learning and new ways of exploring. I want you guys to fully embrace this, and I'm going to challenge myself to do the same fucking thing because I can be very stubborn and hard-headed myself, especially when it comes to me as a Virgo, triple Virgo. I know what's best. Okay. Having said that, I am going to take away from this Astro chat live and take away from what I'm seeing within the charts, looking at things from a fresh lens and fresh perspective, challenging myself to not only set intention, but to explore new tools that will help me to be successful towards my own goals, not only in business, but personal, spiritual, physical, mental, emotional. That's what I can do. And I want to challenge you guys to do the same thing as well. V says, any advice for magical manifestations on 11/22/22? First of all, 11/22/22 is my thing. It's my number. I don't know if you guys can see that. I always feel like, Thalia, thank you so much for the love, girl. The energy is just unreal coming from you right now. Thank you. As Nika saying, hit the like button, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Please do. So I feel like with setting intention, I have always been very simple. I feel that all you need at the end of the day is a fixed candle, some some petition paper and a Sharpie pen in order for you to work even your most, and some oils too, but that goes into the candle. I've got the Goddess Vibrations oil here for those of you guys wondering. I also have the Higher Wisdom candle that I've been burning damn near all week. Pretty much, you can't tell because I put it out and then I walk away because I've been in and out of the office a lot lately. But I really believe that you can use very, very minimal things in order to achieve maximum results. I would sit down with myself and I would be quiet. I would heed the advice of Mars retrograde and Chiron retrograde and the transitions that are happening here. Yeah, the new moon in Sagittarius is going to be quiet as well. Pull that energy within yourself, get quiet and ask yourself, and ask the divine, ask the universe, what's next? What is next? I'm open, I'm ready, I'm listening, I'm here, I'm present. Show me what's next. Help me to be prepared. Help me to be excited. Help me to be optimistic. These are energies that these planets are working with, and that are going to easily give to you. We are just exiting out of Scorpio season. Scorpio is very, very intense. It's all about intimacy and deeper connection and transformation of all of the bodies, meaning mind, body, soul, spirit. Now that we're entering into Sagittarius season 11/22, I would say, and it's going to be a little, the sun enters into, 22nd. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Sorry, I'm seeing some comments here. Ooh, 777 people on the chat right now. Thank you guys. Yeah, I would write down what's next. I would ask spirit to tell you because there's a lot of things too. I'm going to make a small video about that later, hopefully. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I do want to say before we log off, and I'm going to pull a tarot card for you guys before we log off, so don't go anywhere. But I do want to say thank you so much for being on this journey with me. Humbly, respectfully, from the bottom of my heart, I cannot express to you the amount of joy and gratitude I have in the fact that I am still able to be here doing exactly what it is I love with people who I feel like you see me. I've realized that I'm almost at 7 years of showing up for the world. It has not always been easy, nor would I want it to be. It has always been worth it. I want to thank every single one of you guys, not because you show up on my YouTube channel or anything like that, although that is very important and that is also awesome, but I can feel and sense your enthusiasm for astrology, for tarot, for your intuition, and for developing your gifts, and for connecting with your ancestors, and for connecting with your guides. Every fucking time I decide to show up for you, I feel it. And I can't tell you how much of a blessing it is when that is your whole world. And it's the very thing that makes you the very happiest, to know that there are so many people out there that love and cherish and chase after and study the same thing as you, especially in a world that may say that what we're doing is crazy or there's no science behind it. This is everything to me. It has always been everything to me. It's been my anchor. And the entire time, whether I knew that I was creating Bahati Life, whether I knew where this was going to go, you guys have been there by my side. It doesn't matter if you've been on my YouTube channel for the last 5 minutes or the last 7 years. It doesn't matter. Because to me, the fact that you're here makes the biggest difference and impact. I want to thank you before we sign off and before I shuffle tarot. Thank you guys for trusting me. Thank you for when the channel is being attacked, when people are sending bad juju or doing whatever, when there's spammers and scammers. You guys trust me. And when I tell you, look at me and help and stay with me while I try to help and while I try to give you this information. We are so much stronger. And I really want you guys to walk away from this time tonight. I want you guys to see the power of focus, intention, will, and drive. that regardless of how anything can come forward and try to push you down, if you are focused, if you have will, if you set the intention, there is nothing that can fuck you up. In fact, the very things that try to fuck you up somehow set you up for success. That is the truth. Stay sharp in what it is that you want. Trust yourself and trust the divine and what they're telling you every day, what your next blessing is, who you are, what you can do, what you can achieve, and what is happening around you. Don't get distracted by the outside noise of the world. None of that fucking matters. None of that matters. At the end of the day, if you know who you are, you know what your gifts are, you know what you set intention for, there's literally nothing that can stop you. Why? Because there is nothing more powerful than an intention, than will, than focus, and love. At the end of the day, that's always what's going to trump. So I really just want to tell you guys like that before we sign off. Like the gratitude is just absolutely immense. I freaking love this shit out of you. Thank you guys so much for the comments, for the hearts and the love. I'm seeing it right now. Just very, very happy. Oh, look, my boyfriend's in here. He said, I'm so fucking proud of you. Why is he so amazing? I just love him. Okay, guys, let's do... I'm like blushing right now. Okay. We have 3 of Wands and we also have 3 of Pentacles reversed, you guys. This is about knowing what it is that you set your sights on is going to come back in. I also feel with 3 of Pentacles that this is about not waiting for anybody else to give you permission for you to do what you got to do. All right. Especially with Sagittarius energy. This is, if you guys think about it, Sagittarius is ruled by the horse. It's half man, half horse. It's very, very powerful. This is also a metaphor for you understanding that a part of you as a human being is also an animal. This means that you have animalistic urges and desires and things that you want to act upon. As we're entering into Sagittarius energy, take that information and do with it what you will. Okay. At the end of the day, you are your own beast. You are powerful, but you are also vulnerable to your own animalistic natures. So you want to kind of like strengthen the sides of yourself and feed those sides of yourselves without having yourself succumb to it. I am not open for personal readings. However, I do have subscriptions open on Bahati Life Instagram. I know that some of you guys are like, fuck Instagram. And I feel you. Fuck Instagram, man. And TikTok and YouTube. So I understand that. I do have plenty of subscribers there. I've been doing daily shuffles on Instagram there and posting it because it's been easy and effortless for me. And if I don't shuffle cards, I get spiritually constipated. I am later on this week going to be opening up a newsletter on Bahati Life website, bahatilife.com, and I'm either going to be posting it out in an email, my daily polls and videos, or it's going to be on a blog spot. It's only going to be $5 a month. So I want to invite you guys to that. If you're currently subscribed on Bahati Life Instagram, feel free to hang out there as well. I'm going to show up in both of those platforms. I don't want you guys to pay twice. If you're benefiting from it, I'm just letting you guys know that it's coming. I'm going to announce it on Instagram and probably in the newsletters. Things are changing right now, and so I myself am changing. Social media is a totally different world. I've been telling you guys about that for the longest time. I just don't know how I feel about it. I want to just continue doing what it is that I love and sharing my gifts. It's more than just tarot, though, as you guys know. The tarot is just a tool that it is that I used in order to share my intuitive gifts. I channel every morning or at night. I'm actually going to shuffle because I didn't do a daily pull for today. Oh, 8:08 on the dot. I didn't do a daily pull for today, so I'm going to put that up next. I'm just going to like get in my zone again and just kind of vibe out and see what needs to come through. So if you guys want to benefit from daily pulls, it's going to be the closest thing that you can get to a personal reading unless we just randomly cross paths. That's not an invitation to try and make that work, though. Okay. I'm naturally really shy in person, but you can't tell when I'm online. So thank you guys again so much for the likes and the comments. and for tuning in. And we will be going live next Monday. Is that when Thanksgiving is? I have no idea what day it is, but that's all the time. I love you. Bye.